This is a pick a pile reading. Actually, it's a pick a ring reading. So we have 4 rings here. These are rings that I made. Sea monkeys is number 1. Number 2 is conjoined Hilton sisters Daisy and Violet Hilton. Number 3 is protesting stormtroopers. And number 4 is Andy Warhol's Jackie O. So you can choose more than one pile if you feel drawn to, or you can just go with one. It's up to you. Timestamps will be below. Hey, pile 1, ring 1, you chose the sea monkeys. Let's find out what is completely amazing about you. So, what is amazing about you that is out in the open that you're aware of? So we have contagious laughter and fashionableness. People love to talk to you. People love to look at you. You're the life of the party, literally. But not in an obnoxious way. You're the center of attention, but not the center of attention that is getting a lot of arrows in their back. More the center of attention that's like a magnet that draws people in. Your light draws people in. And you're fashionable. You look current, but you have a different style than the norm. Nobody can call you basic. You don't dress outlandishly. And you throw in a trend here or there. But overall, you're so well put together that people don't notice your outfit as much as they just notice you look wonderful. Which I think is kind of the point of fashion. Bringing out the best in the person wearing the clothing. To the point where the clothing actually should not be the focal piece. You know, it should be the whole package. And that's what you present. The whole fun package. What amazing thing about you is something other people notice, but you yourself are blind to. So we have interesting to talk to, great writer, fun to dance with, and soothing. Wow, that's really nice. So you have kind of a different view of yourself than other people do. You've got communication skills that draw people in and comfort them and keep their interest piqued. You're fun to dance with. You get people laughing. You get them curious. You get them feeling really comfortable. And then you bring out their joy. What amazing thing about you do you know but deny due to prior inaccurate, damaging, negative feedback? Selflessness, modesty, empowering others. So you might have had negative vibe merchants in the past tell you that you were selfish, that you didn't do anything to help others. People that were trying on many fronts to devalue you, to shame you, to make you feel useless as far as your place in a community. But I am here to tell you that the opposite of these things is true. You are actually very selfless and giving and compassionate. And you aren't a show off. In fact, you could probably show a lot more than you do in many ways, talent wise, body wise, brain wise. But people will throw that sort of label of somebody being immodest onto people that whose light they want to dim. And you shine very bright. So I can see where lower vibrational people might be threatened by me. But the thing is that there's other lower vibrational people that actually raise their vibration because of your example. The way that your energy expands outward, it's got a far reach, and when it touches people, when they allow it to touch them, it is healing. It's cleansing. That's what I'm getting. So let's see. What amazing thing about you should you remember during stressful moments that will make you feel better? Compassion and empathy. Compassion and empathy. You've got tons of it. I can feel that. Your energy is beautiful. As far as your compassion and empathy, remember to give it to yourself. Talk to yourself as you would talk to someone who was coming to you for advice. Be as kind and gentle with yourself as you are with others. You most certainly deserve that. So, this reading is telling you, look how wonderful you are. Time to start doing that. Cut yourself a break. Let's look at your unicorn cards. You got quite a few of them here. First of all, we have innocence, flow, patience, and nature. So it can never be said enough to go out into nature. That's always, always, always going to be good go-to advice. When in doubt, go into nature. Recapture that playfulness. Let yourself experience that newness. Let yourself melt into the flow of things. There's no reason that you have to be harried or stressed. There's no reason why your mind needs to be in two places at once. You don't have to be thinking while you're doing something of all the other things that you need to do. Because you can't be doing them anyway while you're doing something else. So allow yourself to be in that flow in the moment. And I think that that helps with patience. Because it's when we have our mind on two different things at once, or 5 different things at once, or 20 different things at once, that we feel impatient, because there's this sense that if something related to one or many or all of these things on our mind, if something happens, then we feel, oh, this will relieve this tension. But it actually won't, no matter what it is that happens. The only thing that relieves that tension is us retraining our brains to focus on one thing at a time. You're the boss. When it comes down to it, you're the boss. Nobody else has to suffer the consequences of your decisions but you. And so that makes you the boss. It's more comfortable for you to be in the moment and to focus on what you're doing and to enjoy what you're doing, to be able to look upon what you're doing with that innocence, with that playfulness, with love. And we have a hard time looking at things in that way when we're stressed out, when we've got all these competing things, because thinking of several things at once, you can't think of any of those things efficiently. When you're thinking of all of them at once, there's not enough energy for each thing to do it any good. There's no fruitful thought that comes from that. Let's see what your Ralph Waldo Emerson quote is. A beauty not explicable is dearer than a beauty which we can see to the end of. You are incomprehensibly beautiful. You are not cookie cutter beautiful. You are not carbon copy beautiful. You are not fast fashion beautiful. You are not flash in the pan beautiful. You are beautiful inside and out. And this can be difficult for some to take. Because you're interesting to talk to, because you are soothing, because you empower others, because you're so giving and compassionate, because you're fun, and because you look good. For some reason, some people find this combination of things to be confusing. I suppose maybe because it doesn't fit into their idea of what you are supposed to be. So I think as a result, maybe you're not everybody's cup of tea. And they may want to put it off on saying it has something to do with your appearance, but it absolutely doesn't. It has to do with their eyes. It has to do with their inability to see anything beyond what has been pre-thought out and pre-chewed for them. It's their inability to expand their exceedingly narrow, spoon-fed idea of beauty. So the thing is that a beauty not explicable, there's always going to be something new to find there. A beauty you can see to the end of, a beauty that is expected, a beauty that is like every other beauty out there, loses shine very quickly. Let's see what Leo Biscari has to say. It would be better said that man shares love as he shares knowledge, but he can only share what he possesses. And you're able to share a lot of love because you've got so much love within you. Man loves himself when he sees himself with accuracy, genuinely appreciates what he sees, but is especially excited and challenged with the prospect of what he can become. Each man is unique. Nature abhors sameness. Each flower in the field is different. Each blade of grass. Each child born is an unmarked creation, a new combination of wonder. What makes you amazing is that you are a rare creature in nature. You are as unique as a unicorn, but more so because, frankly, calling people unicorns is not so unicorny anymore. It's rather commonplace. That's one thing that you're not and will never be. Then that's what makes you amazing. You will never be commonplace. You'll always be beautiful and unique. Hi, Ring 2. You chose the Hilton twins, Daisy and Violet. They were joined at the hip. So, let's see. What amazing thing about you is out in the open that you're aware of? We have interestingness, realistic, and you enjoy your right to be comfortable. So you're somebody that people can look to for quality information. You're somebody that puts people at ease in a concrete way, in a way that gives them security, and in a way that inspires them. And you like the good life. And that's not a bad thing at all, because that keeps you in a better frame of mind, keeps your vibe higher, and probably helps you to keep your vision clear and to absorb new information that you can pass along to others. What amazing thing about you is something other people notice, but you yourself are blind to. So we have collaboration, decisiveness, accuracy, and alertness. You're a powerhouse. You work well with others. You know your shit. You're on point. You take no prisoners. Total boss energy. You don't necessarily see that about yourself because I think that it's just something that you expect from yourself. And so you don't see it as something that makes you amazing. I don't think that you spend a lot of time sort of contemplating how much of a force of nature you are. But you truly are an efficient force of nature at that. And I imagine that you really give the people around you a lot of stability. What amazing thing about you do you know, but deny due to prior inaccurate, damaging negative feedback? So basically, like your whole self-worth. You've been around crappy people. Crappy people that you have done a lot for, but have not been practicing any sort of reciprocity towards you. I'm getting this real feeling of like an expectation of maltreatment, but not that you would think of it as maltreatment because it's like part of you feels like that's basically what you get, and that's not the case. You're very valuable. And if you have not felt valued by others, then it may be time to, it's definitely time for an environment change. It's definitely time to uproot yourself out of the dry sand and find some moist earth to repot yourself, so to speak. I mean, because even being in a container on a balcony would be better than being in a desert, surrounded by, grit that's being blown at you at 70 miles an hour. You're a valuable person. What amazing thing about you should you remember during stressful moments that will make you feel a little better? Innovation and smart choices. You know how to make smart choices. You know how to be decisive. You know how to size up situations accurately. And your gut tells you. It's like you know immediately. The only time I think that you go back and forth on something is when you have like these people that make you feel devalued, throwing static into your process. You are innovative. You are an inventor. You are an architect. You are an artist. You have a very formidable mind. And because you're realistic, you can draw down things from the ether that they set the pace in a way that's not obtrusive, in a way that fits in and flows. Because you have that clarity and that accuracy of vision, the innovations that you create, the things that you bring into the world out of thin air, out of your imagination, they can be groundbreaking. And yet, because of your clarity and your decisiveness and your sort of feel for, it's like feeling out the shape of a peg and the shape of the hole, not being able to see it, just being able to sense it, just having an instinct for it, and then fitting perfectly. Fitting perfectly where no one thought that there could ever be a peg in that hole. And you bring it right down, and there it is. So It might not be a bad thing to remember during times of stress. Not only that you have this going on, but remember that you're not going to be able to see it to the extent that others can. And those that don't value it, it's not because they can't see it. It's not because they need to be convinced. They're pretending like they don't see it. They're pretending like it doesn't exist because it's difficult information for them to deal with. Because they have a lot of growth that they need to do and they don't want to do it, frankly. I'm sorry, that sounds cold, but I mean, how can you hold somebody's talents and skills against them? Wouldn't you be happy that somebody had talents and skills to bring into the world and make it a better place for everybody? Wouldn't you be thrilled to be around somebody that had such a powerful brain, had such acumen and skill in manifestation, so you could learn from them? Wouldn't you feel lucky to be around that person? Why would you make them feel devalued? You know, it's get away from people that make you feel devalued. I mean, you don't want to have people kissing your ass because that's not realistic. And you know, you sort of have to look at the motives of somebody that would be willing to put themselves in such a position. But you definitely need to be in an environment where the feedback you get is good, because that's the feedback that you should be getting, is good feedback. Awareness. Live in the moment. Be conscious of your thoughts. Look for signs and guidance. Yeah, keep your eyes open. Don't let doubt cloud your view. It's okay if you can't see all of this wonderfulness. It's okay if it's going to take time for you to get used to accepting the fact that this is all real, that this is all true. The thing you want to concentrate on doing right now, I think, is just don't tear yourself down. Your Ralph Waldo Emerson card. There is a great public power on which you can draw by unlocking at all risks your human doors and suffering the ethereal tides to roll and circulate through you. Then you are caught up into the life of the universe. Your speech is thunder, your thought is law, and your words are as universally intelligible as the plants and the animals. You have exactly that power. And so, by all means, unlock at all risks your human doors, because the risks are imaginary. The risks have been authored by the wankers that are behind this kind of stuff. Okay? So they don't know. They know nothing. So there's no risk. Your Leo cards. Man may be the only living creature with sufficient will and intelligence to choose happiness. How sad that he so often chooses despair. Always choose happiness. A lot of times that requires like letting go of certain qualifications on happiness. Happiness is only happiness if these certain things are met, these requirements, or if it looks like happiness to other people. Only concern yourself with what happiness is to you. Why are other people looking over your fence? You know? Change is the end result of all true learning. There's so much of the positive, wonderful growth I'm feeling. And this is like, a preference, but it's also like an instruction. Remember that you have a right to be comfortable. And that doesn't just mean your surroundings as far as textures and fabrics and temperature and things. That means you have a right to be comfortable in your life. You have a right to be comfortable with the things that you do. You have a right to be comfortable with the interactions that you have. Finally, Gandhi, there is no love where there is no will. How very true. When you're not able to freely move about the cabin, when you're not able to freely express yourself, when you're not able to have your own true opinion or decide your own fate, even, love is an independent decision. It's not a consensus decision. Your heart tells you how to love. Your heart tells you where to direct that love. That can't be forced. You know, we can't take other people hostage and force them to love us or force them to be what we want them to be or force them to make us feel how we want to feel about ourselves. I would never want to be with somebody who didn't want to be there. So I completely agree with this. If someone were with me because they felt like they were forced to be, you would not be able to convince me that that person loved me because of the conflict of interests of being forced, being held against their will in love. That's not love. Love is free and freeing. Love makes your heart soar, and your heart can't soar in a cage. When we have to change ourselves to be loved, it isn't love that we receive. Love is given freely without condition. That's what true love is. You love somebody whether they can benefit you or not. If you're gonna love them, you love them. But it's not something that can be forced. I'm not sure how that ties in with the rest of this. Oops, sorry. Unless your innovation is going to be in your relationships. Perhaps that's why you're to think of innovation and smart choices when you get stressed, because you're forging a new type of relationship in your life. The type of relationship with others where there is reciprocity, there's mutual respect, and freedom. Freedom to be yourself, freedom to be comfortable, freedom to be appreciated for who you really are, and freedom for you to be able to appreciate yourself for who you really are. Because you're a powerhouse, you're amazing. And I'm sure this is only just the tip of the iceberg. Hey, pile three, ring three, you chose the protesting stormtroopers. I wonder if you can see that okay. I have no idea. So, what amazing thing about you is out in the open that you're aware of? Personal style. You look good and you know it. And it's in a way that sets you apart from everybody. Even if you're following the trends, the way that you do it has flair. That's why there's an exclamation point there, because you make an entrance. What amazing thing about you is something other people notice, but you're blind to? Your talents and skills. You're more than just a pretty face. You're more than just a pretty outfit. You're more than just nice presentation or packaging. You've got some really, I'm hearing marketable talents and skills. I don't know why that's significant. Maybe you have a question about that. If what you know how to do or what you're good at or what you enjoy is something that you could make a living at. They said marketable for a reason, so there it is. But you've got a lot of skill. What amazing thing about you do you know but deny due to prior inaccurate or damaging negative feedback? Your ability and capacity to love. You have had, I think, it feels like demanding people. You're a little coated in Teflon because of behavior that has made you question, and I'm talking about the behavior of others, that has made you question your ability and your capacity to give love to others. And that's like the only, barrier, I would say. So if somebody is saying that you aren't able to love, if you don't know what they're saying, you don't know what love is, or saying that you have no heart, or that you're cold, or any sort of really, nasty judgmental thing that would lead you to doubt this, they're wrong. If they're picking up on that, they're picking up on your aversion to them for making you feel that way. I mean, that's the thing. Some people don't seem to understand is if they want to be loved, they have to be lovable. I mean, you don't have to be. I mean, that sort of like quarrels with the whole unconditional love concept, right? But what I mean is it's more difficult to love somebody when they're metaphorically beating the shit out of you than it is when they're bringing you flowers. We shouldn't have to love people in spite of the way they treat us. If you love someone, then you certainly deserve to be treated with respect and with care and not cut down, which is what I just heard when I looked at talent and skill. Like somebody has tried to pigeonhole you unnecessarily, and because they're not a pleasant energy. I think because of jealousy over how polished and fabulous you look. So they want you to think that's the only thing that you have to offer. That's really messed up. No, that's not the only thing you have to offer. Not by far. Not by far. You're chock full of talent. So I'm not sure. It's weird that this came through, but for somebody out there, it could possibly resonate that there is somebody in your energy that is like that. They want you to think that you're just a paper doll or a shell, and you're not. You're the whole package. One amazing thing about you should you remember during stressful moments that will make you feel a little better. Okay? So we have maturity, open-mindedness, hygiene and grooming, the way you're made, and trustworthiness. So these cards feel like they're saying primarily remember that you are a quality person, that you don't go off half-cocked, you don't throw judgments on people. You have spectacular hygiene. You're always clean and smell yummy. And the way you are made is special. And there's nothing wrong with making accommodations so that the way you're made flows with your life, or your life flows with the way that you're made. Because, like I said, you're the whole package. So this is definitely talking about that as well. You have amazing personal style, but you have maturity. So you're not drumming up unnecessary attention just for the sake of drumming up attention. When you get attention, it's deserved. And it's not just because of your looks. It is because of the entire package. It's because you're truly talented. So keep an open mind to allowing yourself to believe in your talent. Keep an open mind when you're taking steps to exercise those talents and skills out in the world. Allow yourself to make mistakes. They don't cancel out your talent. They don't cancel out your skill. They help you learn. Not only that, but they create a precedent so that other people will also learn. And like all of this, you're part of expanding the idea of what can be contained in one personality. And that's amazing. That's a beautiful thing. So your unicorn cards are trust and imagination. Leap into the unknown, have faith, and move forward. Believe you will fly. Envision a new reality. Give yourself permission to dream. Believe in unlimited possibilities. You can trust the dreams that you're nurturing are quality, solid, and that's a funny word to use for dreams, but solid dreams to have. You can sink into imagination a little bit more. Allow yourself that. Allow yourself to go in there and play. Things are going to turn out really well. I'm getting that sense. I don't know what things are. I don't know what's going on here. But whatever it is, it's going to turn out really well. And so trust and playful envisioning, those two things, trusting that it is going to turn out well, and putting icing on that mental cake, so to speak, those things are going to help manifest whatever you've got going on, which I feel like maybe is an expression of these talents and skills. Your Ralph card is symbols must be held lightly and be very willingly translated into the equivalent terms which others use. Symbols and words mean different things to different people. They have, commonly accepted meanings, but then there's always an emotional weight, a very specific, personal, emotional weight that we give certain words based upon our experience with those words. And so this, I think, is talking about being able to not hold on so much to a term or a label or a symbol, but its essential meaning so that you can translate it for others who might not speak that same language, who might not attribute that same meaning to that symbol. So drawing out the marrow of things, the common ground, seeking the common ground. Your Leo Biscaglia cards. To discern only the evil in this world and live willingly in its shadow is to set up another obstacle to love. We have to be willing to look at the sunny side of the street. We have to be willing to, to not focus on what is bad, even though we have been trained that that is exactly the thing that we need to be doing, is looking at the negative. What we give our energy to grows. And so if we're always concentrating on the problems and not what is good, not supporting and holding up what is good and adding to that and helping that expand, then our world becomes less loving. Love needs an environment of light in order to expand, in order to grow, in order to flow. If all you can see is the bad, you miss the good. The good is still there, but it's hidden by the clouds. So I guess Leo is saying here, don't willingly live in the shadow. Sometimes we can't help living in the shadow, but don't willingly go there. There's no need. You belong in the light. If you feel something, let people know that you feel it. Don't you get tired of those stoic faces that don't show anything? If you feel like laughing, laugh. If you like what somebody says, go up and give them a hug. If it's right, it will be right. We have to dream about what the world is going to be like in 50 years and educate for 100 years hence, and a dream world of 1,000 years hence. The world today for the first grader is not going to be his world in 30 years. I think that Leo Biscali said that like in the late 70s or the early 80s. That was a very new thought for them. And it's actually kind of a new thought for now, as odd as that seems to say. So I don't know why, but for this pile, I'm getting the meaning I get off of this, and it may not be exactly what he means. It's not what he's talking about here. But what I'm getting is this is talking about, when you were growing up, there weren't as many possibilities. Like the world wouldn't allow as many possibilities. There are so many more options now than there used to be. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. There is no reason why you're not allowed to go into this or that field. There may have been when you were growing up. There may have been some sort of societal restriction. And in many ways, I think maybe you were not prepared for a lot of what has come your way. But that is all changing for you, I'm feeling. You're being encouraged to dream, to imagine, and to give yourself credit for what you have within you, what you have to share with the world. What you have within you and what you have to share is very important. I'm getting a very strong sense of that. And I'm also getting a strong sense that you have been misled to believe that you did not have a gift for the world, that you did not have something to contribute. So let this reading serve to tell you that that is 100% wrong. You absolutely have amazing, amazing things to contribute to this world. You have amazing talent within you. So, as much as you possibly can, trust that things can be good and okay and wonderful. Trust that the way you are made, there's not a thing wrong with you. You are made exactly how you are supposed to be made. And let your imagination run free. What is it that you want? What is it that you hope for? Allow yourself to dream. Trust that a dream is not in vain. So take some time to imagine how you will be embracing those new experiences. Imagine yourself having fun, because that's going to be a big part of it too. Okay, pile 4, ring 4, you chose Warhol's Jackie O. So, what amazing thing about you is out in the open that you're aware of? We have hero and perception. So you are somebody's hero, and you're very intuitive, and people appreciate that about you. They appreciate the way you're able to, the way you perceive things. They like your worldview. You give people hope. Yeah, you give people hope. What amazing thing about you is something other people notice, but you are blind to. In tune with the elements, you have self-discipline, amazing analytic ability, and you're relaxed. That's a nice juxtaposition, analytic ability and relaxed, huh? You accept yourself. There's a lot of these cards. You're blind to a lot, and there's a lot great about you. You're very resilient. And yes, you're very intuitive. Here it is. Here's intuition. You have a great voice. And people love being around you. Wow, there's a lot you don't know about yourself. Let's just let this sink in. People like to listen to you. They like to be near you. They're impressed by what you're able to feel out. They're impressed by how you get back up every time. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. And yet, you are so relaxed about it. Right there, right there. See, doesn't that seem weird? Yeah. But still, analytic ability and self-discipline. So you're not just, messing around here. And you accept yourself. And you're in tune with nature. And you give people hope. Wow, okay. What amazing thing about you do you know but you deny due to prior inaccurate but damaging negative feedback? Aww, you're a cutie. You are cute. People think you're adorable. You have excellent manners. You move people emotionally. People are really touched by you. People feel healed by you. You're a great artist. Attention. The attention you pay to people, you really listen. You make people feel seen. And you soothe them. That's beautiful. What a shame that these things are things that you deny because other people have told you that these aren't true. They've told you that you're not calm, that you're inattentive, that you leave them cold, or you're not talented, or you're rude, or you're not attractive or adorable, that people just don't want to scoop. People want to scoop you up. Come on. They want to scoop you up and just hug you and squeeze you and call you George. They can dress you up and they can take you out. You're incredibly talented. You make people feel. And you make people feel seen. And not in a wacky way. Very calm. Like I just demonstrated. Okay. Yeah, but in the calmness there. What amazing thing about you should you remember during stressful moments? Oops. I just knocked down the one. Okay, no, I did. All right. As we were saying. Oh, I need a drink. Okay. What amazing thing about you should you remember during stressful moments? That'll make you feel a little better. And we have red carpet. See, dress you up and and take you out. You've got glamour, glamour. Okay, loyalty. You're incredibly loyal. You're able to manifest whatever you want. You just have to hang on to that belief that you can, because that's 90% of the battle. Yeah, there we go with listening again. People feel like you really listen to them. You really hear them. And your curiosity, it makes you relatable to a lot of different people because you're curious about a lot of different things. You're able to find that common ground with people. You're able to find a place of meeting where the minds can meet. Yeah, you've got so many good qualities. Maybe just we should blanket it and say, during stressful moments, remember that you're amazing, multifacetedly amazing. And although your perception is fantastic, this is your blind spot, is how amazing you are. Delight is your unicorn card. Count your blessings and enjoy life. Take pleasure in simple things. Always expect the best. I think that this is saying that you're going to be out in a beautiful grassy field looking at the clouds, blowing dandelion fluff. Just being joyful. Good times are on the way. That's what I'm sensing from that. Your Ralph Waldo Emerson card, one of them is, we are far from having exhausted the significance of the few symbols we use. I think this is here because you can always find something new, some new meaning in things that, frankly, you have like gotten stale. You're able to draw out like fresh information that people haven't considered. Things more excellent than every image are expressed through images. The emotion, the passion, the perception. And this is also talking about you're more than the sum of your parts. You are so much more than the sum of your parts. And the way that you're able to find new meaning in things that are familiar, there is the same sort of available avenue in you, this ever renewing resource of new things that crop up within you, new meanings that people are able to find in you. What are your Leo cards? The easiest thing to be in the world is you. The most difficult thing to be is what other people want you to be. Don't let them put you in that position. Find you, who you are. Be as you are. Then you can live simply. If your path is love, the goal is unimportant. The process will have heart. So no matter what direction you choose, you bring that big heart, that big love to it. One must live the questions. But in order to live the questions, it is logical that one will have to pose them. You cannot get answers to questions you don't ask. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid of what the answers to those questions might be. In asking those questions, there's life because there's courage. Sometimes information can be threatening, and not so much information, but the potential of information, let's say. And the sometimes in that sometimes information can be threatening, or the potential of information. That sometimes is when you have had so much of yourself obscured by incorrect judgments. You know, people who try to dim your light or make you believe negatively about yourself, those are the sorts of people that also don't want things questioned. But you're naturally curious, and your perception did not get as wide and open and real as it has gotten by turning a blind eye to things, or being easily, dissuaded from your natural inherent curiosity. I get that there's the memory of having to be afraid, and that can be difficult to, sort of divorce yourself from. But I also get that the time for being afraid is over. There's no use in it there for you. And not just because fear is itself pretty useless as far as, bringing things into our world that, fulfill us, but also because there are great things lined up for you. There are great questions posing themselves for you, is what I'm getting. They're preparing themselves to be posed, if that makes sense. Like questions as in like all the questions that life puts on your plate, that T.S. Eliot line. Life is about to put a whole new set of questions on your plate. You're in tune with the elements. You've got amazing perception. You've got an amazing aura. And even nature loves you. So have no fear of those questions. Ask what you want to ask. Answer what you want to answer. Live how you want to live. I hope this has been helpful. Love and light. Take care.